And the last presentation is for Simon, who will report about a very unique case of year-round pond production in Thailand in a monsoon climate. All the projects so far operate just during the dry season. That will be a good example on how it can be done over a year-round basis.
I'm presenting this on behalf of Khun Banchong Nissagavanich from Thailand. The presentation is an overview of Artemia biomass production in a Thai shrimp hatchery owned and operated by Khun Banchong, who is also president of the Thai Shrimp Farmers Association. So he's not here today, so I'm just presenting it on his behalf. The hatchery specialises in monodon production, and it's located in Ban Po district in Chachoengsao province, about 60 kilometres east of Bangkok. The key features of the hatchery are heavy recycling of salt water to reduce operational costs and integration of Artemia biomass production as a sideline. I believe he refreshes the hatchery water supply annually now, storing the brine well in advance in preparation for annual water exchange, but sometimes he recycles it for long periods of time. The first time I visited, which was I think 2005, he had been recycling a single batch of seawater for 11 years, which gives you an idea of the capabilities and efficiency of the system with no impact on production. Before use in the hatchery, water is pumped from earthen treatment ponds into concrete tanks to settle for a few days before adjustment of salinity. The salinity of treatment ponds may reach 40 ppt in the dry season or fall to 20 in the wet, and is adjusted as required. The water is chlorinated and heavily aerated before being filtered and ozonated prior to use in the hatchery. Now, I'm not going to cover the hatchery as we're more interested in the Artemia sideline today, but after hatchery use, the water is drained to treatment ponds of 0.2 to 0.4 hectares for sedimentation and breakdown of organic loads. And these ponds, importantly, are seeded with algae and seaweeds, and they also have mangroves planted around the edges to help assimilate nutrients. And these treatment ponds are aerated to promote plant growth and breakdown of the organic matter. Usually one cycle of water treatment takes about 7 to 10 days. So how did Artemia biomass production become a part of this system? Well, after the first few years of operation, salinity in the treatment ponds got as high as 70 to 120 ppt in the dry season, so Khun Banchong began looking for ways to make use of this hypersaline resource. He converted 2 treatment ponds for Artemia culture, and these now operate on a year-round basis. The ponds have a combined surface area of 0.6 hectares and 2 metres deep, and they're constructed so as to permit fresh water to run off during heavy rains, because of course it's a monsoonal area. Salinity in the Artemia ponds typically ranges between a minimum of 70 ppt in the wet season and a maximum of 110 in the dry. Seaweed and macroalgae are harvested daily from the water treatment ponds and composted for a few days as natural fertiliser. The Artemia ponds are fertilised daily to stimulate phytoplankton for the Artemia to feed on. In this way, some of the nutrients from the hatchery operation are reclaimed as Artemia biomass, which is sold as a secondary crop. The seaweed and algae from the treatment ponds are not sufficient though, so he has to compost organic matter from other sources, such as agricultural wastes and manures, to provide enough nutrients to support the biomass growth. The pond bottom is raked every second day by dragging a heavy chain from a boat, and to reduce erosion, the banks are planted with a salt-tolerant succulent plant we call pigface in Australia. I don't know the local name, sorry, but I'm sure you have it here. And an additional use of the hypersaline water from the Artemia pond is that it can be used to adjust salinity up in the treatment ponds during the wet season. Artemia are harvested in the morning hours when they congregate near the surface due to the low oxygen levels, using a set net close to the surface, fixed in position with bamboo guides. And there's a small, slowly rotating paddle wheel that maintains a slow circulation within the pond, but it also drives Artemia into the net, which is lifted and cleared periodically. And the catch is transferred to small harper-style holding cages, which you can see on the right-hand side here, to await packing. And the farm is producing over 100 kilograms of Artemia biomass per pond per day, which is equivalent to about 4.5 hectares per month. In the past, when I visited the first time, he was producing about 600 kilograms or up to 600 kilograms a day. Some of this biomass is used in his own hatchery. He tinkers with other things. You can see the mouse grouper fingerlings here. But about 60 kilograms of biomass is sold daily to other crab and marine finfish hatcheries as a live food for around $1.75 per kilo US. The cost of production is less than 50 cents per kilo, so the farm is making an annual profit of around $27,000 per year, supplying almost 22 tonnes of live Artemia biomass from about 0.6 hectares of pond area. And that's it. Thank you for your attention.